Are you guys ready for the mailbag?
Absolutely.
A lot of stuff this week. A lot of controversial stuff right off the bat.
Wow.
We're gonna get into a conversation that's been very toxic this week, and I'm gonna say something that I'm sure is gonna get us heat. Okay. Right. First one's from Jason Turpin, and the subject is Tommy Dreamer canceled. Hey guys, I like the new T-shirt designs. My girlfriend is from Chile. Get one with the Chilean flag, and I'll be sure to buy one. Note that, Joe. We're always going to make a buck here on the show. I hope all the other Chilean listeners had a good Fiestas Patrias this past weekend. Pico Palque Li Disco. What does that mean? Pico Palque Li Disco.
I think you're probably mispronouncing it.
It says this is spelled Pico Palque Li Disco. Does Chilean speak Spanish or is that Portuguese? Do you know Portuguese? Do you speak Portuguese?
Chileans speak Spanish, dude.
Okay, well, whatever this guy... If you can't understand what this guy said, then he doesn't know Spanish either. Maybe he doesn't know Spanish.
Maybe he's using a word from Chile.
All right, so here we go. Yeah. Anyways, Tommy Dreamer was interviewed on the latest Dark Side of the Ring, talking about the plane ride from hell. Dreamer defended Flair, saying he would never force himself on anyone. It didn't seem much to me, but Impact has suspended him indefinitely. Just wonder what you guys thought about this. Thanks, Jason Turpin. Do you know about this, Konnan?
Yes.
Okay, what's your? I want to be last on the thoughts here.
Yeah. So the thing was that somebody had called me up about it and goes, yeah, did you see Dark Side of the Ring? And I really don't watch that much because it's like tragic stories that I don't really want to relive. And I've heard this story a million times, anyways.
Yeah.
But they had interviews with people in it, and I guess Tommy Dreamer said what he said at the end, and so I went back to watch it just to see because a real big deal was being made about it, and I thought for sure they're going to talk about it on the show. And I think what really hurt Tommy in all of this is the way it was edited, because basically, she sounds very credible. She sounds like she's still hurt, and 20 years later, you can see it in her face with the close-ups and all that. And then right after, then she's like, oh, people don't know how much this follows you throughout your life. You're kind of feeling sorry for her. And then they bring Tommy in right after that. The way it was edited, it
right.
kind of
yeah. They edited it for emotional reaction.
Right. Okay. And, because when they bring him on, it kind of minimizes her when he says, well, if it was so heinous, because he also kind of went like that. If it was so heinous, why didn't he just take her to the full extent of the law after, for about 10 minutes straight, she's talking about the mental torture and that her husband asked her, maybe it was your fault. And she was like, how could it be my fault? What did I do wrong? And you're kind of feeling sorry for her, So the way it was edited, Tommy got screwed. And at the same time, he even said it. If this happened today, 1,000% unacceptable, right? Should he be fired for that? No. I mean, he should have been reprimanded, sensitivity classes, whatever PC companies do nowadays.
Well, he's suspended.
But he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't.
Indefinitely, okay.
But he's not the one that pulled out his or any of that. You know what I'm saying? He's just making a comment. I think we're kind of going overboard here. I mean, it's no secret to anybody. Wait 1 second. It's no secret to anybody what the was going on in the 90s, all right? And that was in rock and roll everywhere. And wrestling was no different. Wrestlers were going nuts in the hotel rooms. Back then, there was no social media, no cancel culture, no PC, plus management was condoning it. Bro, I was in the military. We were a bunch of hooligans. We did the same wild. When you get a bunch of young guys together and they're pilled up in alcohol or away from home or whatever, goes down, And so, now today it's different. There's nerd culture and they're playing video games. They learned from our mistakes. But for people to pretend like that wasn't happening or overreact to it, it's kind of weird,
It's all about the way the culture was back then.
Right.
Okay, because bro, how long? Okay, because here's all I gotta say. And I've said this a million times. Okay, if you want to criticize people for every word that comes out of their mouth over the course of their entire life, and it doesn't matter, dates don't matter, doesn't matter how long ago it was, it doesn't matter. Okay, well let's look in the mirror. Would you want to be criticized like that yourself?
Right.
Do you everybody that's being so critical of this from stuff that happened 18 years ago? Okay, I get the girl she's still very upset, but somebody being aggressive towards a female This is just he was being like a little overly aggressive. Correct? Is that's what the story was, right?
That's what they say. Yeah, he had her
What they say.
cornered in the galley.
I think everybody could probably understand. Like if you look at your own life, like the worst things that happened to you 18 years ago, are they still like front and center on your mind today? I would suggest that most people are. It's not.
The thing is that if somebody's interviewing you and they're asking you about something that happened 20 years ago and you're reliving it, it was a traumatic experience from her. I don't think anybody had ever opened up the robe to her and tell her to touch her. And she's like, she was like, she's going to work, bro, and this guy's drunk and he's doing this. She was traumatized. Her husband even doubted her, which traumatized her even more, and she was feeling guilty. So, yeah, I can see that still affecting her because she went to work and some guy got drunk and exposed himself and wanted her to touch his. If somebody did that to my mom, she'd be traumatized too, and I'd be pissed, But right. Even Jim Ross said it. I thought he was great. He was like, these guys acted like kids. He goes and they never did anything to Ric Flair because he was a made man and got a pass. He was very honest. Dreamer,
by acting dismissive is what got him in trouble,
not happy
obviously.
with Jim Ross about that too, by the way.
Who?
Flair's not happy with that.
Well, it's never been officially confirmed or anything, but if people were thinking that Flair was going to AEW to manage Andrade, you'd have to imagine this is a big. Of
course not. There's no way right now.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing right now. This is all important because we give strength to the social media mobs. We let them dictate what's right and what's wrong. We let a mob of people that are looking at one person and the decisions and actions that this person has made, good or bad. We're highlighting the bad of this single person, things he's done, and we're highlighting them and making them the most important thing about this person. Let me finish this thought. But the people doing it, would never want to allow themselves to be subjected to the same scrutiny that they're subjecting Ric Flair to.
Well, not just that, but you also got to remember, a lot of people are watching this show for the first time that don't know about this plane ride from hell. They don't know Ric Flair. They don't know that the boys think that that's funny and that he does that. And it's the same thing like if, when you first found out R. Kelly was on having them as, you're like, what the and somebody could say, oh, well, he's really a nice guy except for that. When you hear and you've never heard it before, you're like, what the is going on? But I just think that even though you're hearing like these wild and crazy stories, why are you not surprised? What did you expect happens when you put a bunch of wrestlers in the 90s drinking for 7 hours? Bro, they were drinking 7 hours before they took off.
There was a lot of plane rides from hell. I remember, the plane ride where we were in Boise, Idaho, and came back, and everybody was drunk, and Arn was drunk on the flight and everything, and stuff, and I was drunk, and we got back in the van, and in the morning we were mounting off it, and Arn slapped me in the face. But that was a plane ride from hell. There was a lot of shit that went on that flight because everybody was drinking because that's what we did. We drunk because people can't understand. They think they hear me. They hear us talk about this, but I would just say, put yourself in perspective. It's like unless you've had it happen to you, you would have no clue what you would do to try to make yourself feel better and alleviate the stress and the pain that your body goes through doing this stuff. And we just this is what we did, and it created a culture where we after the shows we got drunk, guys had pills, guys smoked weed, but we were straight when we came to work.
But I think I think the point of the dark side of the ring and whatnot, and what got Tommy in trouble is, as far as the allegations go, everybody partied, but not everybody pulled out their. That's what people, you know what I mean?
Bro, we've seen this happen repeatedly with girls that were very willing. This was a girl you gotta understand, it's television stars have groupies.
Yeah.
And the mindset is if a girl's interested, so it's it's just a different. It's hard to explain. It's like until you've actually become famous, you can't understand the way people perceive you. Because, like, I've seen like a million times guys take pictures with girls, they put their hand on their asses, and, stuff today that, like, and then, but back then it was wrong. They shouldn't have been doing that. But there was a culture of, like, we did this and the girls accepted it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't erase
permissiveness.
Yeah.
Permissiveness. And it's like that's I'm not going to pretend that culture didn't exist, criticize it, and talk about all they want, but like, bro, that's just the way it was. I'm like, we can say like
that's the way it was, but
we're hearing 20 years later from a girl that's like upset at Ric Flair.
Right.
I'm like, okay, 20 years ago, nobody was upset at Ric Flair.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
yeah.
this is like that's she was, but she didn't speak up. But like there was a bunch of other, like she was an outlier. You know what I'm saying? Like we're hearing about these girls, like people that have said, like, in the culture of what we did in the groupie scene and everything, like this is an outlier. This didn't happen a lot. Like somebody got upset, but like girls were throwing themselves at us.
People don't know that. All people know is this guy did this. They see it on TV.
They hear it,
and they work on your emotions. That's why Tommy got destroyed. If that interview might have been in another part of the show, probably wouldn't have hit as hard. But they did it right after. They've been.
She
on
was
her,
emotional.
She's almost.
Yeah, they made him look like.
And she sounded very credible. Okay,
right.
Let's make that out of the bat. And then he kind of came off as dismissive. Oh, so if it was so heinous, why didn't he was kind of, and I think that right there, they said, oh, we got something
they
here.
They made him the
he
bad
got
guy.
buried.
Well, let me tell you something too, and this is all fair for Tommy Dreamer here. Okay, this was not a court of law that she was not on the stand. She was not on a witness stand. She was part of a television production.
Right.
So Tommy Dreamer is being subjected to somebody that was produced,
edited,
videoed, edited and everything, and his response was based on that thing. I would like to, like, if it's that bad, I wonder if this would be a different conversation. If she was on the stand, taking an oath, and being cross-examined in a court of law, and Tommy reacted the same way. But, like, bro, this girl's like, this is the thing where you can...
Tommy, as you know, is in the court of public opinion, and those are a different set of rules, and he's been judged. He's been judged so much so that he's been suspended indefinitely. I thought he was fired, but he's been suspended indefinitely, and I heard Rick lost some...
car advertisements.
So
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Public opinion is a real thing.
And it can happen to anyone, because think about, and you guys know him better than I do, but do either of you guys have a bad word to say about Tommy Dreamer? Probably not, right? Everybody likes Tommy, so now he's in that center.
But here's ultimately my opinion on this thing is, like, if you really want to, like, go, like, if you want to go balls to the wall on trying to punish people for stuff they did 18 years ago because you're hearing somebody is still upset about it and stuff, like I understand that, but, like, dude, you want to be judged like that too? Does everybody judging Ric Flair and Tommy Dreamer on this, do you want to be judged for everything that's happened in the past 20 years of your life? And I can highlight one thing that you did wrong and, like, highlight and make it out like you're a miserable person. Do you want to be subjected to that same scrutiny?
And a lot of the people,
and I would suggest that nobody does.
A lot of the people that are the loudest critics always have some skeletons. Almost all, you know what I mean? Almost all.
Which is another thing too. The people that like to cut people's legs off to make themselves feel taller are the type of people that feel like they're guilty of things.
Right.
And you just see it all the time, and it's like I just see it. Bro, Tommy Dreamer, he got paid. The guy got paid $1,500 for this. And this is another thing I want to bring up, because this is going to be a long conversation.
No, this is our first letter, dude.
First letter. Okay, I want to bring up this too. Okay, I don't watch Dark Side of the Ring anymore.
Right.
I haven't watched in a season and a half.
I only watched it because I knew it was going to come up on the show.
Okay, bro, that show, the fact that so many guys in the business embrace that show when it does nothing to promote wrestling. It does everything to denigrate wrestling and actually inhibit the promotion of wrestling. It makes everybody, like, if you're in a business like that and, like, one of the guys is like that, there's going to be people think, like, okay, all the guys are like that. That show, I can't, I'm surprised that Cornette, Jericho, all these people, They just contribute to that show.
Let me
let me finish. Because ultimately,
I'm going to disagree, and I'll tell you why. Why. Because at the end of the day, I think people are smart enough to understand that's not every wrestler. These are a couple guys that in the wrestling business were over the top characters, and this is how they were. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people go, all wrestlers are like that. But it is a hard show to watch because I think I watched Benoit. Did they do the Benoit thing there?
Two parts on.
Okay. And after that, I was kind of done. I was like, I don't want to. If every show's going to be like this, like the dark, it's a good title. It's a good title, Dark Side of. It wasn't that. They're just showing the dark side. It's a very good title,
which is not promoting anything. That's my whole point.
But
this show's not promoting anything.
They do the dark side of football. They do behind the music. You've heard negative stories about every entertainment business.
Let me ask you a question, Konnan.
Yeah, I did.
If somebody wanted to do the dark side of Konnan,
right,
and we're going to do 8 episodes.
Right.
And we're gonna bring everybody on everybody on like and stuff and like we're gonna bring Hoovy on and all this. Everybody's ever had a problem with you. Everything you've ever done wrong. Everything we're gonna do that. And like, how would you feel if like Jericho's doing the narrating for?
It is what it is, bro. It's a TV program. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't.
I agree, but you gotta look. That's the perspective I look at it from. I look at this as like everybody thinks I like on wrestling stuff. Everything. I would like, and the only reason I
just disagree, bro. I'm not saying you're on wrestling. I just disagree with you.
Well, let me finish my thought. Is you probably think I'm thinking something different. Everybody thinks it because like we criticize a lot of stuff,
right?
Okay, that we should, but we're doing this because we think wrestling can prosper more. Right. Okay, we're trying to point out mistakes they make, everything.
But I don't think this inhibits it. I think this shows I think honestly, the title's apropos, Dark Side of Wrestling.
That's right, but I don't think Jericho, Cornette. I don't think these guys should be involved.
Why?
Because it's not promoting the business. It's burying the business.
No, it's not burying.
You have guys with huge followings
showing the dark side of it,
which buries the business. No, it's not promoting anything. There's nothing to. Bro, Tommy Dreamer. This is what happened this week in the show. Wrestling didn't prosper. Tommy Dreamer got suspended. How was this a promotion of the business? It wasn't. Tommy Dreamer got suspended. Jericho narrated. These guys on each other, and Tommy, I said, I've never. I would maybe. I gave them the idea. I emailed these guys. I emailed Chris and stuff, and they're like that the Hard Body Harrison story. If you want to do a Dark Side of the Ring, that's a fascinating story. Mm-hmm. Okay, because he was like running pimps and stuff. How
about when they arrested you for gambling? Would that be a good dark story?
It would be.
Yeah.
It actually didn't know it did. No,
then why don't you send that in?
No, but would that promote the business?
Who cares?
I'd rather talk of the.
It's something interesting that happened in the business. You're like,
that's true.
Disco got arrested for gambling. Hard Body Harrison was a pimp. Oh my God!
Hey,
this guy did this. It's more like what
I'm more interested in growing fans of the business, not trying to tell people that might want to be fans. Hey, this is a shitty business.
They're not telling that's business. They're just saying, hey, some guys. There were characters in the business that did up and this is what happened.
Bro, that's not. It's completely negative. Flair's going to be starting a podcast with Mark Madden soon, right? They're going to put it on hiatus now, probably.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, because of how is this promotion?
They're not going to get sponsored.
This is the opposite of promotion. It's actually it's actually the promotion of cancellation. We're trying to get wrestling. If you keep doing stories like. I would disagree, and I think.
What do you think, Joe? I'm going to give Joe the last word here, and then we get to the next letter.
I think I agree with both you guys, but I would say to Disco, you're a fan of Led Zeppelin, but yet you know all the bad things Led Zeppelin did back in their days with groupies.
Yes.
But that doesn't affect your enjoyment. But it doesn't affect your enjoyment of the music.
Rock and roll with all the underage girls, these guys were dating and stuff. This is crazy,
But you never. It doesn't. You don't go, oh my God, now Led Zeppelin's a bad band, and I can't enjoy the music on its own.
Well, here's the thing. It's like when you change the rules, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, the rules are changed. Okay, let's say, whoa, you broke the rules 20 years ago.
No, I understand.
Okay, yeah, but the rules are changed now. We're not. If we're breaking the rules now, it's different.
Well, I would just say one thing: if they're gonna arrest rock and roll stars for being with underage girls, they need to arrest you for being with underage guys. Nothing.
That's a cheap shot. That's very disrespectful.